talking about role models. I'm not going to say what I'm thinking about these artists that are out here who are not good role models right now.
I'm looking for my baby.
It's not about them. No, it's about her.
Baby.
No,
you know, about how it's about. There is a demographic for them all, and
there is.
You know, and I'm a little mix of all of it, so I can't be mad at it. But
what you think about Sexxy Red? Anybody know
Benjamin P. Dixon. I just quoted her just now, and I will tell you, I never heard her song in full. I can tell you that I've seen a video of her speaking on having STDs, and saying it like it is an everyday thing, a normality to just let yourself be out here like that. And I'm not saying it's a problem with being sexually active with your partner, but not protecting yourself just because it is, I guess, the norm, or what she tried to make a norm in the like, if it's just because you come from a hood, because you a hood girl. And I think not, sweetie. I think not. You can still take care of yourself even though you're from the hood. I never heard of a woman that doesn't take care of herself. I think right now what's going on is things that go viral. Sexxy Red, I think, is an absolutely beautiful young woman and actually has a talent. And just because she raps about sex, that's not the problem. To me, honey, it's literally going to school, and as you're walking through that school, you holding up the middle finger in a children's school. That's problematic to me.
She went to the school to sing. The song that she performed, though, was "My Booty Hole Is Brown."
She actually performed that, and the kids continued.
They loved it
to sing that. I don't want to say that when I was younger, I wasn't singing songs that I wasn't supposed to sing. But baby, honey, I don't need my 5-year-old say my. I can't even say the words. Yeah. Now that may be because I am in a different place now in my life as far as age. Like, I ain't old. I'm grown.
Yes,
different. I'm grown. And so I like to, I might play a bit of Lil' Kim, where she's talking about whatever she want to do with her man and this and that and that, right? I'm grown. Grown.
Look, I'm a big fan of Meg Thee Stallion, so I have no place to try to talk about someone being ratchet or not. I'm a fan of Meg Thee Stallion primarily because I think she's one of the coldest lyricists rhythmically in the game right now. And it just
her behind makes rhythm too,
and she's absolutely she's gorgeous, right? All those good things, right? The problem I have with Sexxy Red is that she. Okay, best example as I can get is a video that she shared on her Twitter timeline of four young black boys who obviously were riding in a car that didn't belong to them. Also, they had like AKs, they had Dracos, they had all kind of guns in this video, singing and dancing to her song. And so as they are putting a video of them committing a crime on the internet, she goes and retweets it and thinks it's cute. I'm like, this is exactly the type of poison that, you're rewarding. There are going to be more kids who go out and do this behavior because, look, they got the attention of Sexxy Red. That video got like 20 million views. It's like once you get to a certain level, I'm sorry, you do have a responsibility. And if you don't want that responsibility, then you don't need to be at that level. So
it's true. I agree. Right. Somebody said Foxy Brown used to rap about being unprotected too. I said about STDs, right? If you're unprotected with a partner that you are unprotected with, and you guys know each other's statuses, or you guys know that you're with each other, or whatever, that's your partner or not, whatever. If you're talking about, I'm tired of my man giving me gonorrhea, I'm tired of my man giving me chlamydia. No, I'm sorry. I am sorry. I cannot. This is not a conversation I can move on with. This is actual video footage of her and Suki with the good, right? And they're literally talking about how men are. I do not need a child watching this, not understanding that those things are STDs, STIs, sexually transmitted infections that you are literally, and they can cause you to be more prone to getting HIV if left untreated. Not everybody has insurance where they can go to the doctor and continuously get antibiotics to heal that. And at some point, this possibly can open the door for a STD that cannot be cured. So that's where it becomes problematic for me, right? And maybe I'm just an old lady, as y'all said. Maybe I'm just too grown for these conversations.
Dog roll a dragon. That is, y'all are so horrible in our chat. Oh my God.
So For me,
Okay.
you know, and that's just me. And I think there's a demographic for all of this. The girls that want to be sexy, be sexy. Sexy is different for everybody. Go to where, and this is what I say in this space, there's so much, right? Go to what fits you. But I feel like so much stuff that used to be like on television, bleeped out. Like, okay, I'm gonna give you an example, Ben. Your kid is watching YouTube. You didn't know Sexy Red was coming up in that next commercial. Your kid is literally watching content for kids, but you didn't know Sexy Red is on a paid ad coming up in the commercial. Now your kid has this coming up. Your kid is watching a child show. You didn't know that an antidepressant commercial was coming up about people being depressed as hell. You see what I'm saying? Back then, you're watching children's shows. You know that the Super Soaker 25 is commercial is coming up. The damn crayons that we wanted that our parents was never gonna get us, that commercial was coming up. The most we would get, the most we would get is the that R&B for you CD album where the lady is in the lingerie that ain't even real true lingerie. Girls wearing that as dresses now, like sitting there with the roses in her hand on the couch, looking up, listening to music with a glass of wine. That was the most that we used to get back in the day. But I say this to say, I think that there is no gatekeeping, and I believe that there should be when it comes to this type of content that's being put out there, but there's none. My niece is on TikTok every day. She tells me about Sexy Red. She tells me about Ice Spice. And you know, there's no bleeping. There's no Kids Bop version for real. These kids have access to all of this. My nephew, who's about 10, told me he has 2 baby mamas at school. That's not because of Sexy Red. That's because of the rappers that they're listening to now. He has 2 baby mamas at school. He listens on TikTok. He listens to this stuff on TikTok, and he was scrolling through, and then there was a woman who was in sexual clothing with a Sexy Red song playing in the background, and I'm like, is there a kids TikTok, or is this just all over the place? I don't know.
You can't. Yeah, you absolutely cannot let your kids be on social media. Really, honestly, before like 13 is cutting it young for me. I don't even know about 13. Like the stuff that they're exposed to and the mindset that somebody said in the chat room. I think it was our homeboy Tyler. Gatekeeping. Some gatekeeping does need to come back just a little bit, because no, not everything. And here's the thing. Like, side note, did you see Suki on the red carpet?
Oh yeah, she said, and she did it on purpose because, mind you, we all was rocking with Suki, and I will rock for her in the beginning. If anybody, I don't care what, if it's a sex worker, I don't care. If somebody says, do not be in this my personal space, do not be in any.
Oh, you're talking about when that guy sexually assaulted her on TV. Yes, I'm on her side 100% on that.
And so we will never ever make that an excuse about how she acts as that. No, but girl, you do not go to the MTV Awards as Suki, and then girl, you know who been walking on that floor, and
everybody.
I know you. Listen, we not wearing underwear in the heat over there at those events, especially with high slits on, and there you go riding the floor. I feel like you can still be classy and be sexual and then you don't have to always be in character, Suki. You don't have to always be in character, baby. Come and let people see you for you are a person too. I've seen this girl have fun conversations, intelligent conversations. I don't want her to like. For some reason, those people, and I wouldn't say it's Sexy Red because I've never seen Sexy Red act stupid, but when she had attached herself with Suki, they did have a conversation about being unprotected in sex. Like there's no, I'm tired. This year, ladies, we not letting men give us chlamydia. This year, ladies, this summer, we're not letting men give us gonorrhea. Well, excuse me. We shouldn't let them give us that at all. Period. Take care of yourself. And she said they know. She said they know who they invited to the awards. So she understands that this is going to be a viral moment for her. She knows that this is going to go viral. She knows that if with each click, each hit, each number she gets, all the viewership, it's going to create revenue. It's going to keep her kids fed. It's going to keep her housed. It's going to keep her independent. This is what that does. Clout is a hell of a drug
for a little while, just for a little while, because let's be real, out of the last 15 years of hip hop, how many of those artists actually have money now? How many of them actually have homes now? How many of them are still living off the money they got when they were one-hit wonders?
But
Most of them
these
are
people are
not.
getting way more money than those people that were one hit wonders. These people, this is
They're
like
also,
drug
but
money.
their
They're moving
lifestyle
bricks
requires,
on
yeah,
social media.
but their lifestyle also requires a very high price tag, right? They're burning money just as much as they're getting money. But I still will say that they're not making enough money for this to last, right? If they're like Gronk and saving every penny, sure. But the
I
main
just
reason
noticed that this is Ben's retweet, by the way, guys. And
oh yeah,
look at his emojis at the top.
because here's the thing, like, listen, I have my own lifestyle of and I don't have a perfect track record by any measure. So I'm not trying to pretend like I'm better than anybody else. I'm better than any of the ratchetness. Everybody loves some ratchetness to a certain degree. Cool. I got it. I get it. But one thing I'm
I
sick
love
and
it too.
tired of, one thing I'm sick and tired of is a very slim sliver, them taking that's not black culture, but
Okay.
it's taken out and it's promoted to the top of the algorithm, and it's generally promoted by white men who make money off of this, right? You look at all these social media companies that are like hip hop companies, they're owned by white men. You look at these record labels, and I'm not talking about the anti-Semitic trope of Jew. No, I'm not talking about Jewish. I'm talking about Aryan Nation white men from the Caucasus Mountains who are sitting back collecting big dollars off of promoting the very worst stereotypes they can of the black community. And I absolutely hate to see anybody black play along, go along with it for checks or otherwise. That's just me personally. So yeah, when I saw it, I literally there was nothing sexy about that to me. I was like, I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. And like I said, I love me some ratchet music. I like getting pretty and listening to violent music. Okay. I like it. I like to get dressed and be in the streets like I'm rolling with a 22 on my side, or I'm holding my man's 22 while he driving. Like I like to get ready to that type of music. I'm not gonna lie. I like to twerk but some of these and like I said, there's a demographic for all of
Poison.
it, and some people love this music. But I also want to I'd say that this type of stuff is available to everybody at all times. It's not like we can mute it, we can change it, we can kids bop version it. There is like gatekeeping for it. This is everywhere. I do not want my children to learn about STDs in this way. I don't want my nephews and them to just immediately believe that having one or more, and treating young girls at his age already and referring to them as baby mamas. I do not want that. And like you said, first of all, black people are not a monolith. We come in all ways, shape, or forms, and sizes, and ideals, and everything, all around the world. But you are right. America will push and push and push and push, especially this industry will push something that makes it seem like all black people are like this. We see in the industry, whenever they're promoting black, they promote this, they promote it like this, and they'll push it that way. I was just listening to a song that I really like by I love all music, right? Look, I sound like everybody. All music matters, but I don't like all music for real. But I was listening to Miley Cyrus's Flowers, right? I think she could have did better vocally on that song, but the damn song is good. But I was listening to it, and I said, this is the same girl that partnered with, was it Zaytoven, for a couple of years, and under the guise of being down with black people, wore jerseys, grills, all of that, and was accepted that way. And then she had a countryside before that, and then now she's into her pop bag again. Okay, and she's accepted for her change. Suki, if she were to change who she is right now into just a lyricist, we wouldn't see her nowhere.
Well, wait a minute. Now I'm gonna say this. Now there's always room in my heart for a real lyricist. Now if Suki comes out with some actual bars, then I'm about to say, okay, I got to reevaluate
In
the
this
situation.
industry, they wouldn't accept it. It's one thing to be sexual, like a sexy rapper. Like we got people like, what's her name? Dang, I forget her name, but she's really good. We have a lot of other good rappers in the game, and they're all like sexy. They got the bodies done, they look good, and they're great lyricists. But the further you push that needle,
yeah,
baby, you gonna get everything you need. But people aren't listening to Suki for her music. They're watching her because they know the next thing that she's gonna do is gonna go viral.
Yeah.
And this is just, I think she has way more talent than just that. She's even been on that show, Love and Hip Hop, where she stated, this is the only way I'm gonna be seen more is if I get my body done. And the guy that she was dating at the time said, you do not have to go do this. You are beautiful. Sexxy Red, she's with a normal body, slim girl. She's tatted up on her neck, but she feels like she has to walk around with stacks in her hand everywhere that she goes. And I understand, because where she was isn't where she is today. So yes, be that way. But she even knows if she goes into a way where she looks like she doesn't look like she's from the hood anymore.
Look.
She's not. The people aren't going to mess with her no more.
Here's the catch-22 for a lot of folks. I think men in particular. No, I'm gonna say for me, sexy is cool. Not Sexxy Red. I'm just saying sexiness, cool. Everybody loves something sexy, right? I absolutely hate the fact that the path towards prosperity for women, particularly Black women, got to go. It doesn't have to, but in this system, it's a surefire path to money down that road that you're talking about, right? Through ratchetness. Ratchetness is a career path that pays money, because this is a system that has monetized ratchetness. They have no problem. Listen, they have no problem taking the bodies of our young Black women and putting it up on television and being desired. They have no problem dropping some stacks on Black women and their bodies. They do it for all kinds of women, right? But I'm thinking about my sisters, right? They will drop money on it. It infuriates me that is the pathway that so many young Black women have to go through, and that's exactly how this system wants it. That's exactly how men want it. That's exactly how rich people want it. That's exactly how capitalism wants it. It is a way to get what they need out of us without giving us anything in return. They get your body, but what are they giving you back? They're giving you some money. Okay, fine. That money is gone. Now what do you?
I don't know why you're playing young Lil Durk here, or Nicki Minaj. None of those people are part of our conversation. Now, I will say this. I will say this though. I don't mind it, right? What I do mind is now that this content is not only like it's how we used to have to see and watch it anymore. It's available to everybody at all times, no matter what. I do think that I don't want these girls to be capped at this place, these women to be kept at this place. If this is how you feel right now, that's fine. I'm telling you, there's a demographic for it. There is. And that's okay. I got a little ratchetness in me. I used to be the girl that was outside on the tables, booty in the air, head down. That was me. Yes, that was me, right? At some point in time. But I feel like also do not feel like you have to stay in this place. Right here, another person, Krishan. She has a different kind of talent in her voice and how she does her work. But the promotion they literally called them a Bobby and Whitney. There are memes online where people said, you know what? This is the type of love I want. Toxic but real love. Yes.
There ain't nothing real about that love.
Yes.
But toxic.
This is what's being promoted, Ben. And I have a problem. Look, now we sound like how I used to say,
boomers.
NIGGAS with mics. Now we sound like the podcast folks. No, I'm dead serious. A lot of the culture right now, what we see when it comes to the industry is going to win first and foremost if they push the needle on the record all the way. This is the only way it'll grow. This is the only way their talents will grow. She was on a show where he was nasty to women. She lost her tooth on his show. He said to keep it that way, and she did. She gave up her lifestyle for this man. She was a track star. She was a track runner. That was her sport. She had a talent, and she literally got involved with this man and continued this relationship with this man, and her life started to go into a way where, yes, she was making money for every appearance, but she was hurting herself. And we see that. But this thing was promoted so much, clubs were paying them to be on the shows. Zeus Network was paying them to be on the shows. Like this is what was selling, right? And this ain't nothing new. We've seen this before, especially when it comes to Black people. get on a show.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Be crazy, fight.
Blueface.
Yeah, then Blueface is known for
Nothing.
how he's treating her right now. She's battling right now. So she's going back home. She went back home to have her baby. She went back to her church to have her baby Christian, where she was raised, because she's been raised in the church. So she's going through a identity battle. But I'm not lying to you, Ben. I know it. If I were to sexualize myself, I know I would win in that way. Not because I'm sexy or anything like that, but I know that if I were to sell myself in that way, it will pay. It would definitely pay. It's almost like if I were to go Republican and start taking Republican points, it pays in the space.
Oh, absolutely.
So especially being Black, it pays in the space. It pays in space.
Are Black people, they meaning whiteness, white America, white supremacy, and capitalism, want our Black people a certain type of way? Blueface, I've got nothing for that brother. Nothing, because I've seen what he does, what he stands for, what he has done to Krishan, what he's his own son, right? What's going on? The baby that she's getting ready to give birth to. Nothing for that brother except to say this: he's exactly the type of Negro this system wants. Right? All this is exactly this is the way they want to see their Blackness. You only have two types of Black people that the system wants to see: either a Black step and fetching conservative, or one of these Black hyper ratchet, hyper ghetto, hyper whatever. It's nothing wrong. It's not. Listen, everybody is going to do their thing their way. Ain't nobody. Everybody's not going to be old and conservative. We old. I get it. Women, we're old folks. I get it. But the fact that the path towards prosperity for so many people, Black people in this country, is through hyper ratchetness, it's not. That's got to change.
And this is all beautiful. These women are so beautiful. I don't mind none of this, but I think, like you said, there's a hyper. And here, let's talk about Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, although Meg Thee Stallion. I feel like they have some kind of say so in how they want to sexualize themselves. These women are literally working off audience, people in the comment section, industry will drop Sexxy Red if she chooses to actually start dropping music that doesn't focus on the color of her vagina or her backside. No, industry will stop her. She has other songs that I've heard that, talk about other things, but I believe that they don't want to hear that music style. We don't want to hear, it's not going to go viral. We need to make it make sense. Sexxy Red on stage, they haven't poured into her stage appearance. And I'm talking about how she looks, but literally how she is on stage. They haven't poured into that. They just know that she's going to get on there and say these words, and the crowd's going to go crazy because this is a viral situation. We got to keep it viral. They're not pouring into her talent. They're not pouring into helping her grow as an artist. It's about keeping her where she's at and keeping them here. And every view and every comment and everything, the people are going to want to see more. You're going to have to keep giving them what they want. You're not going to have that control. And I feel like Cardi B has control over the way she wants to sexualize herself. I feel like Meg Thee Stallion is in a place where she wants to sexualize herself. They have control over that. The industry right now, for those other women like Sexxy Red and Suki and others, I feel like they're controlling how they should be sexy.
I see what you're saying, and I feel that power dynamic. I kind of sort of agree with you on Meg Thee Stallion and Cardi B having some power, but I don't know if we can really. They got to test that theory, because I haven't seen them put out what's their new song, Bongos. Like,
I like bongos. I've heard bongos.
I hear it pops at the club.
There's a lot of sexualness in the song. There's a lot of sexualness
for them to have power, though. Like, I would like to see them express that power. Do something that is not sexually explicit, and let's see how the industry responds to it. Now, if they could do that, then I would say they have that power. But I think to a certain degree, I think Meg and Cardi B are prisoners of the same system. I love
Scarface. Yeah. So there's Scarlip. There's a girl called Scarlip. She is a gangster. She don't rap about sex. She rap around pulling up, murdering people. It's crazy. So there's even that style of rap that we know. We already know. Her name is Scarlip. I absolutely like her. But again, to each his own, there's a demographic for that. Right now, I just don't think like something about the vibes of even this seem a little bit more controlled. But the vibes of the women now is like almost like they don't get it just because you're sexualized. You don't get a chance to appear at an award show as
A
like,
human
hey, I'm
being.
in a gown and like,
Yeah.
yeah, with class. You don't get an opportunity to do that. You got to go in character.
I
I
don't
feel like
know.
no.
Listen, of course I'm a dude. So even if I was like a fine dude, I still would be at a disadvantage because I'm a dude. But um, I just hate that that's where they're captured at. I think part of liberation and freedom is for them to actually have the power that you're talking about. And I don't see them having that power. I wish they would have the power to make those kind of decisions for themselves. But I would rather, this is what I actually was going to say. Like, I don't really have this problem, but I would rather be broke than I have to sell myself either in any capacity, any way, any format that's controlled by someone else. You know how we are, Rebecca. You and I both, like, we push back against everything. Every job that we had, they did something we ain't like. We push back against it. And I really just hate that there's so many Black people who really don't have that option. Their only path out is to be either as hood as they could possibly be or as ratchet as they possibly be. And if if they want to get a double whammy, they'll be hood and ratchet in the same song, and that's their way out. And I just think that is prison itself. That's another form of slavery.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know what? That's why I say that control over women. So I know you said you aren't a woman, but I can speak from a woman's perspective. I don't mind. I'm a Christian. I dress when I go out. I like a high slit. I got nice legs, right? People are gonna be like, "Oh, that's so unchristian of you," right? Or whatever the case may be. Okay, fine. I don't know. I go to the clubs and past that stage in my life, right? I'm past the stage of clubs, but I do go out. And when I do go out, I'm that grown woman who's in that really nice dress that's throwing my behind the circle because of where I'm from. I'm from South Florida. It's what we do, right? So culture and stuff like that plays a part. But I know that I don't have to be, if I'm going to an event that I don't have to be in my character or whatever. I'm in a gown, baby. Respect me. I'm in a gown just like this white woman next to me. Respect me. We both are here because we're public figures. She's not here acting as her character. Listen, this is what we're gonna do. A lot of people have to understand it in that way. I'm not trying to see every Black person as the talented 10th, okay? Or the Black. I ain't trying to see that. We are not a monolith. Like we do have ratchet sides. We have the sides where we're enjoying ourselves. We have the sides where we like to be sexy. We have the sides where we're listening to this hood music. Like I said, violence and stuff. I listen to a song a lot by T Grizzly and Meek Mill that they talk about going into somebody's house and shooting up the place. And I listen to that as I'm putting on my little lash. Okay, I do. Yeah. But at the same time, I think that it's exposure to the kids, and I also think that there's a place and a time. Meek Mill is also somebody who came out and said we got to stop rapping about killing people in songs because of what's been happening to the rappers. Right? He came out after that, and he talks about that. Even T Grizzly had that discussion as well. So we're seeing a lot of that happen right now because now it's not just about the music. People are actually going to do each and everything that these characters or these people are characterizing themselves in their lyrics and their songs. They're going out to do that. They're going out to be that. So I say with the women, if I had an opportunity though, Ben, to make money sexualizing myself, I couldn't say that I wouldn't do it. I'm far past. I told you I'm in my prime now. Okay. So things don't sag on me, but I ain't there. My mind has already been, shifted and tainted in a way. I ain't as
Rebecca Azor, sis, you're 30. What? You're 10 years younger than me, right? So you're 33.
I am 33.
Yeah,
I'm 33 years old.
That's the age Jesus was when he died.
That's when your body starts coming in, your hips start coming in. I don't have a boy chest anymore. I can, everything. I'm a woman, right? So I like where I'm at. I think I really like this place. I like this place where I'm at, where I can, I don't know, like it's different, right?
I just want better. I just want better for.
I know what you mean, Ben, and I'm with it.
But it's going to be so hard for us to get better when people are paid top dollar and given an audience of they have the largest audiences, right? Let's just talk about black audiences. I mean, the people who get the top dollar and have the biggest black audiences, people, you know, like Sexxy Red. And that's unfortunate for the future black community, because they're growing up they're not growing up with the fullness of the black community. They're growing up with just this one little sliver of ratchetness. And yeah, everybody has some ratchetness.
I agree.
But we're this is that much of the black community, and we got to ask ourselves the question: why so many white Aryan executives are putting so much money into promoting this one little sliver of blackness?
Because there are women that, like I said, there's a demographic for everything, but the one that I'm seeing pushed the most is these overly sexualized women. And like Sukiana has had conversations where she says, I don't want to be always sexualized. I want to have my businesses grow, not for people just assuming that I'm this and that and that. She had these conversations herself on the platform Love and Hip Hop, even though Love and Hip Hop is very much scripted, but she's had those candid conversations surrounding even her being on that show and what's the changes that she's done to her body. I believe that she's a very beautiful woman before surgery, after surgery, with surgery. She's very beautiful. But I feel like it should not, the pressure of social media, the pressure of having to be in this industry and wanting to be in this industry and be respected in some way, shape, or form shouldn't come at the cost of what you're doing to your body and sexualizing yourself. Because she even says, like, you know, my kids know who I am, but I come home and I take care of my kids. She has 3 of them. I come home and take care of my kids. They don't know me as that. They know me as mom. You know what I mean? And some of these people who also do these things, for instance, like the owners of these phones, like the iPhone, he don't give his kid the iPhone. He said he wasn't, those kids wouldn't be the former owner, RIP to him. Steve Jobs was not going to give his kids the iPhone. He didn't even really F with the iPhone. He is the creator of the iPhone, but he knew what it was doing to people, right? How it disconnected people in some way, shape, or form. While it connected people, it disconnected people as well. So a lot of these artists or who do this, who are in this place where they're over-sexualizing themselves, they don't let their kids listen to this type of music. They don't let, like, there is like, you see what I'm saying? There's a line that's crossed that they do not actually cross. They don't bury or blur the lines right there. They make sure. But to everybody else and what's giving in the world, you're right. These white men who own that's the only way that they want to see.
Absolutely. And the last thing I would say about this is I want to double back to something you already said. Despite everything I have said about Sexxy Red and Suki in this clip, not now one of them deserve the disrespect or particularly with Suki, the sexual assault that she endured on video.
Ever.
I don't care how hypersexualized she does herself or exploited by. I don't care what the story is. Neither of them deserve some of the gross things that they are enduring. So
I don't care what they do. Like I said, there's a demographic for all of them. I just ain't in it. And in my opinion, it was my opinion. And yours were yours. But there is a demographic for that group of people. I want them to have more control over how they want to do it. If that's what you want to do, you actually see it bleed over into their craft. I see Sexxy Red on stage. They do not pour into her stage presence. They don't pour into how she is on stage. They do not. They keep her with this one look, stance. They don't want her to grow. They don't want her to grow. They got to keep it like that because that's what sells. That in today's day and age, going viral is more important than perfecting your craft.
Oh yeah,
that's it.
I would love to hear bars from either one of them would make my day. Some good bars.
I think they're both beautiful women, and even the other girls that are part of the crew. Glorilla, such a beautiful girl. All these women are beautiful, and I even see Glorilla actually starting to come into her own control of how she wants to be viewed as well in this space. We see a change from that initial let's be so ratchet to her now coming up wanting to take care of her stage presence. I believe that she tapped on, was it Tiana Taylor, for her stage presence to look more than just having her friends on stage look ratchet. Let me start actually doing some like tapping into some, if I want to be sexy, how does that look instead of just being sexualized? How does it look if I'm trying to be sexy? And of course, social media laughed at her, but she said, that's where I'm trying to go now. I want to be sexy. I want to rap and be sexy, not just overly sexualized all the time or talking about hating on men or whatever the case may be. I can see a change happening because she has a little bit more control in, I feel like, where she wants to be and what she wants to look like. It's okay to elevate. You don't always have to be stuck in this place. You can grow, baby. You can still talk about having penis in your mouth and still grow. I don't care. No, because that's what they talk about. It could still be that. Whatever it is. So anyway.
I know we got to go. But I don't think they can grow. I think hip hop is intentionally designed to freeze dry people at the age of 19. And no matter how old they get, they got to come back and be that same. Look at how a lot of men in hip hop have not evolved since they were like 19. That's because a particular brand of hip hop that is being sold by those white executives, those white Aryan executives, can't afford to have grown men and grown women representing their life through music. They need to have children, 19-year-olds. So that's why you have a lot of grown men children who like 50 and 60. Ain't nothing wrong with rapping at 50, but at the same time, you rapping about the same stuff at 50 you were rapping about when you're 19. You didn't grow. So
yeah.
Anyway,
I think that is happening right now. I will agree with you right now, Ben. Watching award shows and watching, because it's the 50th year of hip hop, celebrating it. Watching what it looks like to celebrate the 50th year of hip hop in some platforms and watching what it looks like, how people are celebrating in other platforms, there is a big difference. There is more story for historically about 20 years ago to even about 10 years ago. There is more story in the creating of hip hop and how hip hop is impacted. Watching in the last 10 years, I would say a lot of the story is I woke up one morning and I went viral. I didn't even want to do rap. I fell into it because I was on a TV show. I made a song. Like, I don't even know who Cool Run D is. I don't even know who, some people don't even know who Nelly is. And that's in the 2000s. Okay? Some people don't know the originators of some of this music that some of our favorite hip hop artists have actually taken from. Some people were confused why Busta Rhymes was up there with Coi Leray and Busta Rhymes was giving he was giving his accolade to the person that he took the rapper that he took the beat from. So it's a historical thing, but I feel like the new generation has stopped and doesn't want to know anything about hip hop in the past. They like it when it is quick, fast, and in a hurry. They like this microwaves. I went viral. Don't know who this artist is going to be. Remember back in the day when a CD used to come out? Now I sound old. When a CD used to come out, when a song used to come out, that song would have visibility, would have some kind of representation, would have a hold on us for about a few years. Baby, a song comes out today, it got 1 month. Like I was watching the young girl with the red hair. Spice. I was watching her and I feel inappropriate because she's been out for about 2 years and I think 19 years old. We've been told to sexualize her because she's been talking about, she said, he like it when I show my panty.
I'm sorry, I wasn't not into you. I was not into a comment. Say that again? What did they say?
He likes it when I show my panty. And I'm like, at 19 years old, I don't want a 40-year-old man saying he likes to see her panty. That's me. It makes me uncomfortable to see them literally sexualizing a 19-year-old who still got baby fat, who's still growing into her body. And she's in interviews saying that she keeps an extra panty in her purse. And I'm questioning why you do that. But she says, I keep an extra panty in my purse. Look at me. See, here I am as a grown woman. You shouldn't do that, sis. All of the bacteria in your purse with those coins at the bottom. You don't know where that purse has been. Why are you keeping an extra panty in your purse?
Rebecca, use too much. I can't.
That belongs in your overnight bag. Anywho. She's 19. And now we're telling all of the children, I feel like, and y'all can fight me on this. We're telling all of the kids at like 10 to talk about sex. There's no Kids Bop version anymore. We're literally telling them, go ahead and show your panty. My niece was in here saying, who is Nicki Minaj? Because Ice Spice is who I like. Even the emo music my niece listens to, white girl emo music, it's talking crazy. It's talking crazy, and it's making her feel emotions that I think she shouldn't be feeling at damn 9.
I believe people should have the space to live and do and be however they want to be. But like you said, Rebecca, as for me in my house, I teach my kids that holiness is right. I'm sorry. I'm just there now because I see I'm an old man. Not only am I an old man, but like I'm an old preacher now. I teach my kids that holiness is right, not because you want to be so good and godly and all that kind of stuff. No, it's because literally the stuff that's out here waiting for you to get involved in is literally designed to destroy your life. Full stop. Every song you listen to that's being fed to you by the hip hop industry, not by hip hop, but by the industry, designed to poison your life and make you make bad decisions. They're all designed to make you get involved in violence. They're all designed to make you get sexualized before you're way too old. You're not even young enough. You're too old. You know what I'm trying to say. You're too young to be sexualized. You're too young. Right? It's literally designed to ruin your life. So it's like, if people want to be free to consume this stuff, by all means, I think this country should be free enough for people to consume whatever they want to consume. But if you ask me my personal opinion, this stuff right here is designed specifically to kill as many Black people as possible.
Rappers are actually coming out and having that same conversation. Yes. Like I said, I listened to a specific song by T Grizzly and Meek Mill to talk about going to people's house shooting. And I be in my car like, pull that trigger finger, blue, black. That's me in my car saying all those things. But when the recent murders of a lot of these artists, and we're seeing more of that today, we didn't see a lot of that. The biggest cases of murders that we were seeing, remember, we saw Tupac
and Biggie. That's it. That was over a 4 or 5 year period. We get 4 or 5 hip hop artists killed a year now. Before you even get to know who was on the interview with DJ Academics and was really calling him out for, hyper promoting the violence in drill music. I think it was Vic Mensa. And it's true. It's like there are some artists who are now they're in the war zone that has been created by the music. And so, like when you're in that war zone, eventually some people are going to look up and say enough is enough. And I'm hoping more people would do that. But when you can make millions of dollars off of it, and when there are white folks sitting around who can make billions of dollars off of it, we're going to continuously see this poison fed to our communities.
And I mean, and this, the only my problem is, and this is where I can agree with you wholeheartedly, they're only going to promote one type for us. That's right. I don't see, for instance, Jasmine Sullivan is out here singing her face off. And in this industry, they only want one Black woman to be at the height of everything. So it's almost like in any industry. So I love Beyonce, but Beyonce is going to be what we love and what we praise. I think she can sing. I think she's very talented. I think all of that about her. She's great. But in this industry, they don't want to make it so that every Black person has a space or a chance. They want it to literally be the way it is right now. They want it to be one person and one person all, and then they want it to look a certain type of way, especially like with the rappers. Meg Thee Stallion was at the height of our game. Just 2020. We were dog dancing on TikTok to the remix of I'm a Savage. And just like that, this same industry threw her away. She dropped an album that didn't do the numbers that it should do for an artist of her caliber. And they started to continue to push these 5-minute rappers. Glorilla came out. She was the hottest. We haven't really seen much of Glorilla since. We've been seeing Sexxy Red. Sukiyana, we didn't even know who she was for real. Now we're seeing more of her because of what they're pushing. They want this particular thing to be the end all be all when it comes to how to view Black people and their art when it comes to music. And a lot of people in the comment section, not in this one particularly, but when this conversation is had, because there's this idea that we are trying to tell people who to be and how to be, when it's not us that's doing that. It's actually the industry that's telling you the only person you can be and the only person and the only voice that you can have. And sometimes it's not even your own.
I ain't trying to
but
tell
it
you
makes
how to
money.
be. I ain't trying to tell you how to be. I keep plenty of rappers in my rotation. I ain't trying to tell you how to be, but I am going to tell you, if this is guiding your children are going to have some serious issues for you to try to sort through. And I don't even think you're going to be able to, because you would have let your children be raised by the very worst images of blackness that they can monetize.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
I think children should not be I really do. I think especially today's kids, no. No and no. Sorry. There's no line. Like somebody said in the comment section, sex ed isn't even being offered because people are afraid to teach their kids about sex in schools. Like in Florida, they do not want to have sex ed. They don't want to talk about African American. But what they're being taught is through this music.
That's right.
Sorry, there's no balance here. So no, I don't want my kid believing that she needs to be with an STI and when if she's in a relationship. Toxic relationships are the thing to be had. No, sorry, there's no balance. So until we can get that balance where they can understand what the difference is, then hell no. No and no and no. The work that we're doing here is not going to stop when it comes to these type of discussions. It's going to be for us and by us here on this platform when the media is telling us to look the other way. Your support is what helps us move forward. Join patreon.com/like it or not. Help us grow.